What's happening, YouTube? Sorry for the shakiness, I'm just a little excited. This morning I hit 30,000 subscribers, so I just wanted to thank each and every one of you guys that watches my content and is obviously subscribed. And if you aren't, hit that button. So today's Tuesday, and as is customary, every Tuesday I do a tutorial, aka How to Tuesday. And this week, we have the Sprocket Grind. This was basically sparked because this weekend I rode with Taimaro and Boy, and I found this pretty cool setup to do a sprocket chunk to over. And a lot of you guys asked that I do that tutorial, so here we are. So let's get to it. So for this tutorial, you're going to be needing the bike, a ledge, or any kind of edge that's above peg height. And I recommend a sprocket guard. I have the Sabrosa Magnum sprocket, and that protects my sprocket, as you can see. The important thing about a sprocket guard is that it allows protection for the chain. So as you can see here, the sprocket is actually taller than the actual chain. So what that does is that it protects the chain from hitting whatever surface that you're going to be bashing your sprocket onto. And because the sprocket guard is pretty thick, it won't bend as easily. And all in all, it's going to provide more protection for your chain and the sprocket itself, and make sure that you can ride to and from the spot that you were bashing. A couple of other important aspects to the ledge or surface you're going to be sprocket stalling is that it's tall enough. So as you can see, this ledge is taller than my pegs, and it has a little lowered area on the backside so that when you're actually stalling, you can kind of teeter-totter. If you're actually landing with the front tire on there, it's easier to learn, but then when you actually want to do it on something tall or without basically the back, then it's going to be harder to get dialed. So you want to just tackle this early on. Alright, so enough explanation, let's get to it. Be very aware that when you start doing this stall, you will damage your sprocket, your down tube, your bottom bracket, your pedals, and your cranks. Alright, so learning this trick is fairly simple. You're going to approach the ledge at a comfortable speed, somewhere between like half a crank to a full crank. Then you're going to basically, and if the ledge is low like the one that I'm doing it on, you're going to want to almost manual onto the ledge. The reason is because you don't want to slam down too hard on this stall. If you do, you might end up bending or breaking your sprocket, so be careful. Again, I'm riding one with a sprocket guard, so it's a little easier. The main thing you want to keep in mind is that you're not trying to land in the middle of your sprocket. Instead, you're avoiding this whole area here, and you're trying to land somewhere where the chain and the sprocket meet in this area. So as you can see here, a lot of the damage is done in this area. When I mess up, I land around here. The reason you want to do that is because when you land in that area, you're minimizing the damage to your sprocket and chain, and because it almost forms like a little crease to where you're actually able to land and stall better. Than if you do it on the actual round part of the sprocket, and that forces you to like pivot around. On certain surfaces, you can kind of cheat a little bit and use either your heel or your toe to kind of like balance you out on the ledge. But on this one, since it's a little narrow and the back has to drop to it, I don't really have that luxury. So I really have to do all sprocket or just balance. Once you're on there pretty comfortably, the rest is fairly simple. You can either fakie out of it or 90 off. For the fakie, it feels like you're coming off of either like a wall ride to fakie, or you're just like bunny hopping backwards. And the main key you want to remember there is that you're trying to clear your front end from tagging and hanging up on the ledge. Or else you're going to flip over backwards. So land, balance, and then yank back. And you want to do so kind of like almost putting the handlebars on your lap and pulling back and leaning back, obviously to land fakie and then turn around. Alright, so once you learn the fakie and you want to take it to the 90 or the 180, keep in mind that if you over-rotate a little bit when coming off, you will hit your back end or tire on the actual ledge, and that'll kind of like stop your rotation. Alright, but much like coming off fakie, the main point is that when you're hopping off, you're going to want to clear your front end. except this time you're either going to be 90ing to the left or to the right, whichever way is more comfortable for you. I'm left foot forward, so I traditionally like to 180 to the right. So when doing so, I basically stall, balance out, and then yank back slightly, and then turn my hips and my shoulder to the right, and then make sure that the front end clears up and over the ledge. And that's all there really is to it. Once you do it a few tries, like you have it pretty locked in, you can take it to really bigger and taller stuff. You can do it on handrails, you can do it on almost walls basically. And if you find a nice bank to wall, it feels really cool to like come back in fakie onto the bank or 90 into the bank. And you can also do variations. You can do bar spins in it. You can hop up and over.
Once I get done with this one, I probably won't do it.
Or you can go to stall, like sprocket to pegs to 180 or whatnot. So, super fun trick. I know you guys are gonna love it. And like always, if you guys have a cool one, make sure you tag me on Instagram, Twitter, or Snapchat. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you guys sprocket stall in the world. But that's gonna do it for me today. Hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. And like always, like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Isn't the king of the jibaholic movement. What up, big dog? Yeah, right? Yeah. Raul? Big dog? Chilling? Dude, I was gonna get on the freeway over here and I saw all of them. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go ride around for a little bit. You got that reflective seat so they see you in traffic or what? Nah? Within seconds of getting here, security's on its way. Made it. To 15. And that traffic is gonna suck dick. So do you. And you.
Where you at? What are you doing?
Bunch of grumpy asses in this Duff 15.
Well, I'm just hungry out of you.
Oh, I ran it!
600 feet, merge onto US 101 North.
Quiet you. Yep.
Okay, well,
Some traffic.
we're going to NoHo and we have
No day is complete without some jackass. What flavor did you get?
spicy.
Ooh. Healthy boys. I got one of these delicious mango chili pops.
Spicy.
Weird for eating those, man.
Spicy.
You're eating chicken from 7-Eleven.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, you really can't stand.